Hey everyone, it's LockhartQT here, and we finally got our first look at actual gameplay as well as a trailer for Liberty Falls inside of Black Ops 6 at COD Next. By the way, this video is going to be quite long, so I'll try and timestamp it if I can. I'm going to be covering the jet gun, some new gameplay elements, the pack-a-punch method, everything in this video. So if you want to like, share and subscribe for more Black Ops 6 content, as I will be covering it as well as the beta on the 30th. So let's get right into it. So before we get into Liberty Falls, we actually got brand new details from the developers at Treyarch, actually talking about the DLC maps that are coming for Black Ops 6 Zombies. They made the pretty big announcement, I would say, that DLC 1 is launching within this year, meaning that DLC 1 will launch sometime in November or December. If I had to put money on it, I'd say it would be mid-December. And they actually confirmed this at the COD Next footage. They actually said that DLC 1 will launch this year, and apparently they also said it will be a sequel to Liberty Falls and Terminus, most likely featuring the crew from Terminus, so Dr. Gray, Weaver, Meyer, etc. And speaking of which, we finally got our confirmation, something that we knew ages ago from leaks and whatnot, but Liberty Falls will not have a set crew. We will actually play as operators within Liberty Falls, and from the gameplay they did confirm you can use the pre-order operators, so Brutus from Mob of the Dead as well as Klaus can be played as in Liberty Falls. So let's talk about the jet gun. The jet gun is returning from transit and has been completely reworked for Liberty Falls. No longer will you have to build the jet gun as well as it breaking. I would say this is probably the biggest issue why it was probably the worst wonder weapon of all time inside of transit. The fact that you'd use it for like 5 seconds and it would break. The jet gun will no longer break, and from the footage in COD Next, the jet gun can actually be fully pack-a-punched and will even have a pack-a-punch camo. Of course the jet gun doesn't break now, so it will be used continuously. The way it works is it will suck zombies similar to the dive from the Machine, and will also have an alt fire mode to blast them away. So think of it as it will suck zombies into the jet turbine like before, but then will also blast them away. However, if you're using the jet gun too much, it will overheat and you'll have to wait for it to sort of recharge. And this is brilliant because this is something that I said in one of my recent Liberty Falls video. This is how the jet gun should have worked in transit. Also, some awesome cool features that we actually saw in the footage. The jet gun can actually suck up salvage as well as drops, so things like max ammo, double points, etc. It can actually suck them up towards you, and I think that's just such a cool random feature for the jet gun. Okay, so let's talk about Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls has a map layout and it's a lot smaller than Terminus. This is going to be the side map, which is a much more casual friendly, and the layout I've actually got on screen now. The mini map as a whole was actually revealed during the COD Next livestream. The actual map layout on the screen is Liberty Falls, and the map will have large open areas similar to Cold War where there's lots of training spots, and I think personally this map is going to be quite easy. I mean, I saw from Mr. Darlet JD playing the map that he was able to get to round 33 in like his first or second game, so Liberty Falls will definitely be a lot easier than Terminus and more casual friendly. Liberty Falls as a map takes place in West Virginia in the town as well as the facility itself, and will feature a comic book store, a fried chicken shop, a motel, a church, bowling alley, as well as the outdoor streets. You can also zip line across the map as well as rappel up and down, similar to maps like Mauer der Toten and Forsaken from Cold War. By the way, this might have something to do with the supervillain achievement that was leaked out ages ago that I did a video on, but there's a new trap inside of the map called I think it's Fiorella. I don't know how to pronounce her name on the top of my head, but she's going to be a super villain or superhero that will actually have a laser eye trap in the corner, and this looks really, really cool, and I'm so glad they added something like this in the comic book shop. And yeah, I think it's just such a cool thing to have traps back in zombies. We've got the tentacle trap in Terminus, and we've got a lady shooting laser beams out of her eyes. It's just really crazy. Also, inside of Liberty Falls, if you watch the sort of live gameplay footage, there is going to be a new safe, which is very similar to the bank from Transit. However, this safe will contain weapons and other goodies, which players can actually enter a combination to unlock. Now, the question you're probably asking yourself is, how do you find this combination? Well, there are actually going to be pieces of paper scattered around the map, including the code, and once you get all of the code together, you can enter the safe. Now going on to the church. Now sadly it looks like the church itself isn't as something as crazy as the Transit Church or the Church from Buried. However, it seems to be the real life church in Liberty Falls. And before, say for example in Die Maschine, to enter the Dark Ether, you'd go to a portal and then you'd have to wait in a loading screen. However, in Liberty Falls, there is no loading screen here. There's literally a portal that opens up at the church. You walk straight through it and seamlessly you just enter the Dark Ether. And this is where you will find Pack-a-Punch. If you enter the church and get power on and everything like that, you can access Pack-a-Punch. And speaking of which, it has a brand new Pack-a-Punch camo which is extremely similar to Terminus. However, it has like little triangles all over it, but again it includes the green, orange and purple to signify tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 Pack-a-Punch. Now, do you guys remember the opening cutscene where you had Richtofen with the Wunderwaffe fighting off zombies in the sort of mansion or house? Well, apparently the mansion scene in the opening cinematic may be a location we can actually play as in the map itself, and apparently, according to YouTubers that are playing the map at COD Next tonight, it's unlocked during the Easter egg, and apparently the start of the gameplay has a brand new character called Blanchard, who Richtofen speaks to in the cutscene. He will be talking to you throughout the map on the comms and on the radio, and apparently players had heard him mentioning in gameplay that he's actually holed up in the mansion to get away from the zombies, and apparently the main quest will have you rescuing 3 scientists and to bring them home. Currently we don't know what this is because the Easter egg in the main quest has actually been locked at COD Next, meaning that the YouTubers couldn't get a head start on the Easter egg quest. And speaking of the Wunderwaffe DG2, as I mentioned earlier, during the COD Next livestream they revealed a real-life half-scale model of the Wunderwaffe that also comes with a free camo that you can use in Black Ops 6 Zombies, which is called Gold Lightning, and it just looks incredible. And also I'm going to try and cop one of these myself, as I'm not going to lie, this model looks fantastic. However, it is about £300, $300, which is a lot of money, so if you want to go ahead and spend that on a Wunderwaffe model, go ahead. Okay, so going back to Liberty Falls for a second, well, the map will feature normal zombies, manglers, the vermin, which are the little sort of creepy crawlies that jump out of zombies' heads, as well as the abomination and the mega abomination. Also at COD Next, they've actually broken the Guinness World Record for having the largest marionette, which was a mega abomination. A lot of people were theorizing what it could be, as Treyarch were very cryptic the day before COD Next tweeting about it, but it's just a really cool thing in the marketing to see a giant mega abomination. It looks incredible. Okay, so Liberty Falls, we already knew that both for Terminus and Liberty Falls, you are going to get a guided mode for the Easter egg. What is this? Well, the guided mode is going to be an easy mode of the Easter egg, which is going to help new players and casual players attempt the Easter egg, as not everyone, really attempts every single map's Easter egg. However, guided mode will work as follows. You'll have 15 rounds, and the only way to progress the rounds is by turning on power, Pack-a-Punch, as well as then progressing in the Easter egg. For every step that's completed, you will progress 1 round, and then you'll get to round 15 and finish the Easter egg. And apparently the guided mode for both Terminus and Liberty Falls will release during Season 1's launch, which I'm guessing will be around November, December time, which will probably launch with the brand new DLC 1 map that we heard about that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Okay, so going back to Liberty Falls gameplay, so the perks on the map that are going to be exactly the same as Terminus, so Jug, Quick Revive, etc., all of their perk prices have been changed and will actually scale upwards like in Cold War, depending on the amount of perks you currently have. So basically it will be plus 500, so say for example if you've got Quick Revive, you go to buy Juggernog, it will then be 3000 points, or say for example you've got Quick Revive, you then go to buy Speed Cola, it will then be 3500, it will work like that. Also, we get the return of the Wunderfizz machine, and it will have 8 perks. However, like in Cold War, if you look at the buttons, there are grayed out buttons which are spaces for more perks, very similar to how Cold War launched with a similar amount of perks and then added 4 perks in the 4 DLC seasons. So I imagine for Black Ops 6 they're going to return to this. We might even see the return of Tombstone, maybe Mule Kick, as well as maybe things like Electric Cherry, Vulture's Aid, Depth Perception, who knows. And just changing topics really quickly to the Easter egg, Treyarch devs actually stated during the COD Next livestream that the Easter egg is going to be quite difficult at launch for both Terminus and Liberty Falls, and they will be dropping on day 1. If you don't know, Cold War changed the sort of status quo by having the Easter eggs, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks launching after the map, which made that everyone was on a level playing field and everyone was well prepared for it. However, the Easter eggs for both maps will be launching on day 1, meaning that the race for World's First at launch will be returning for Black Ops 6. We also got a look at the brand new third person mode. Yes, you can finally play zombies in third person, which to me at least feels like very much like a custom zombies feature, more so than an official feature from Treyarch. But yeah, you can play campaign, multiplayer and zombies in third person, which is great. And we even get footage of things like the jet gun as well as Mangler and other things in third person, and the jet gun in third person definitely looks interesting. Speaking of returning features though, we get exfil, crafting and salvage all returning, but a new feature is that enemies can now drop keys, very similar to maps like Nightfall from COD Ghosts Extinction, where zombies and enemies will drop keys, and you can actually go to open lockers around the map using the keys to get goodies such as perks, weapons, etc. By the way, there aren't going to be any Hellhound rounds in Liberty Falls, but instead you will have Vermin rounds, and I imagine this will be very similar if not the same for Terminus. And lastly, Treyarch mentioned that they wanted to keep the story very spoiler free. They didn't really talk about the story too much. They just sort of repeated what was already said in the opening cinematic, that Richtofen's back and perhaps he's not really evil, he's not really good, he's going to be morally grey. And they did very quickly mention in the trailer for the actual gameplay reveal trailer for Liberty Falls, you can see a sign written in blood saying she did this. This apparently is referencing to the fact that Samantha has obviously kidnapped Richtofen into the Dark Ether and has caused this outbreak, which might be related to Terminus, as we know that Terminus and Liberty Falls, basically in the story, take place exactly at the same time. So the question is, how will our characters react knowing that Samantha is the reason for this outbreak, and she's basically taken control of Project Janus as well as the main facility and the town of Liberty Falls? So everyone, thank you so much for watching the video today. That's pretty much been it for the majority of gameplay features from Liberty Falls. I probably have missed quite a lot as I've had some issues tonight recording and getting stuff together for the other videos. But if you guys don't know, the main theme, the main menu theme for COD Black Ops 6 Zombies has now been released, and I've got that on the channel if you guys want to go watch that. And of course, this is a developing story as we've got the beta coming out, as well as COD Next is still ongoing. So if there are any more like gameplay tidbits or story information, or if anything is revealed in the next few days, I will definitely be covering it on both X and Twitter as well as on the channel. So don't forget to stay glued, like, share and subscribe for more Black Ops 6 Zombies. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.